Everyone has heard the term, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Especially today, with most companies operating virtually, with online applications, resumes are your first impression. They are the first contact candidates have with employers, so having a strong resume is important. Resumes are a candidate's marketing tool when networking. It can be handed out at a meet and greet, a community event, or on campus. It can be used to obtain internships and, of course, when applying for jobs. Resumes are an opportunity to highlight skills, accomplishments within the workplace, within the community, as well as educationally. This module is designed to review the do's and don'ts when preparing a resume. Although these are just recommendations, they have proven to be successful. Remember, resumes are about you and your accomplishments. This is the time to brag, but not embellish, about yourself. Always be truthful, as this information can be verified by prior supervisors. I often hear students say, the work experience I have does not pertain to the job for which I'm applying. This is absolutely not true because of the items on this slide. Transferable skills. Communication, critical thinking, self-management, and interpersonal skills are transferable. These are skills obtained from nearly any job. These are the skills employers seek. Are you self-motivated? Do you work well with others? Are you professional? Do you communicate, listen, and write well? Any job can enhance these skills, and they should be noted on a resume. Mention the frequency these tasks are accomplished. Instead of saying, helped customers, mention the details. Assisted 20 customers per shift by answering emails, phone calls, and specific questions about company products. Transferable skills are vital to employers and should not be eliminated. On the right-hand side, you will see a list of other transferable skills that can be included in a resume. Identify any computer skills, accounting skills if you process payroll or timesheets, sales, budgets, training, if you're bilingual, multilingual, or if you've offered project management assistance. These are all transferable skills and should be included. A resume is a timeline of accomplishments. Because everyone in this class is attending school, education should be listed first. As your career progresses throughout time, experience or employment may be listed first because of the number of years working in the field. Those joining CSUSB from high school do not need to place high school on the resume. List only CSUSB and the current degree. We'll discuss later how this should look on the resume. Students that transferred to CSUSB, however, from a community college or another university may list the Associate of Arts or Associate of Science degrees, but they should be listed below CSUSB's degree. The most current degree or the in-progress degree should always be first. This rule also applies to work experience. List everything in chronological order, most recent to oldest. When preparing bullets for each position, it is important to ensure each is written using the proper tense. In other words, only the current position should be written in present tense. All other positions should be written in past tense. As an example, complete versus completed, or prepare versus prepared. As mentioned in the previous slide, be specific with accomplishments, specific tasks, and frequency. Mention which software programs were used. For example, utilized Excel to prepare monthly activity reports. If you have volunteer experience, those should be included and listed below work experience. Listing the most recent position first gives employers early access to reviewing a candidate's current role and responsibilities. Students that are active on social media should be cautious of what a potential employer might find. I always say, if you don't want your grandparents to see it, don't post. Although employers cannot ask for social media passwords from candidates as it is illegal, they can certainly conduct free online searches via Google or other methods. So ensure social media is professional and you're okay with potential employers viewing your content. If it is not clean and/or appropriate, consider making changes and/or deleting accounts, as it can jeopardize future employment. However, if you have social media skills to add, such as Instagram, Snapchat, or Facebook experience, especially for you marketing or sports and entertainment marketing students, these can certainly be listed in the skills area of a resume. Many companies nowadays are seeking students or candidates that have these experiences. A resume is a professional document and should be given proper attention. Regarding the second box, when preparing a resume, do not abbreviate, as it can be taken as lazy or a sign that you're not serious about the opportunity. You'll see the second example provides an abbreviated version versus the full version of our university. The second definitely sounds professional. Regarding the third box, do not include references on a resume, as they are not needed. In fact, there is not a need to even state references available upon request at the bottom of a resume. This is because employers know they can ask for references, and it is typically included on an application. Instead, prepare a separate document with the same header as the resume for references. Have a minimum of 3 references, which include personal and professional people. Include their names, title if they have one, phone number, and an email address. Then, when the employer asks for references, the document is ready to send. You can either hand it off or send it via email. Some students prefer to use a fancy font regarding the fourth box, but it is recommended to use the basic font style like Arial or Calibri. Many like Times New Roman, which is okay, but sometimes it can be difficult to read. Think of it from an employer's perspective. If you have hundreds of resumes to read through, you certainly want a font that's easy on the eyes. Use font styles that are clear to read. Many employers also use software programs to read and scan resumes. You do not want to be eliminated from the process because the resume reader cannot identify the font style. For the last box, when listing work experience, promotions should be listed as separate positions, as it will include the new title and the new roles associated with each promotion. Timelines for each position should be included on the right-hand margin, listing the month and year. So if you're promoted within a quick time frame, that is also identified. Multi-language skills are important to place on a resume. If you are fluent, then it should be included. Or if you are proficient in writing and speaking a particular language, other than English of course, then list those skills. An example of how to include these on the resume are on the first bullet. Fluent in Spanish, or if you're not fluent, proficient in reading and writing Spanish. It is being noted that although you are not fluent, there is experience. Unless you are seeking employment outside of the United States or within an area where English is not the primary language, it is not necessary to state fluent in English, as that is assumed. With the second bullet, awards, honors, scholarships, or certifications are certainly worth noting on a resume, especially if it is relevant to the position. Similarly, include any volunteer activities, participation in events, even if it was just for one day, and any other extracurricular activities. Noting these accomplishments supports your character and shows responsibility and dedication. Regarding the fourth bullet, templates can be difficult to manipulate, and they are easy to spot by the reviewer or hiring manager. It is recommended to begin with a blank Word document and build from scratch. It is okay to search templates for ideas, but not recommended to build the resume. Be consistent with spacing, periods, fonts, and font style. Bullet points do not require a period, however, but if they are used for one bullet, they should be used in all. So ensure to review this for consistency, as this can be a deal breaker for an employer. Use spell check. Have others read and review the resume. More than one set of eyes is always best. Ensure to seek assistance and identify the resume format that showcases your skills, abilities, and accomplishments. Last, avoid using I when preparing a resume. Instead, use descriptive words. For example, instead of stating, I prepared monthly timesheets, begin with an action word. Utilized Excel to prepare monthly timesheets for 10 employees. It is easy to see that the second sentence is much more descriptive and avoids using I. This slide provides a great example of why abbreviations should not be used on a resume. Take a look at the first box. How does it appear to you? Does it look professional or a bit lazy? When including the education portion on the resume, it should be written as displayed in the second box. Please note the university is fully spelled with a comma after university, as well as the degree. Also, it is California State University, San Bernardino, not California State University of San Bernardino. That is often a common mistake. Unless you have a different major, the degree for administration should be listed as a Bachelor of Arts, administration, then identify and include your specific concentration. The bottom box also includes the grad term. Many students often make the mistake of stating August 2020 to present for the term at the university. However, when noting present on a resume, it does not provide an employer with an anticipated grad term. Remember, if an employer is reviewing resumes, they are hiring actively and have a start date in mind. If an anticipated grad term is not indicated, this may eliminate you from the process. They will not call you to ask when you will be graduating. So on the right side of the resume, list expected May 2024, or as close to the anticipated grad term as possible. You of course can always adjust when necessary or as needed to get as close to the term as possible. This slide provides an example of a clean resume. Hiring managers spend about 15 seconds on a resume to determine if they want to proceed. Ensure the information is easy to read, includes education near the top, and is free of grammatical errors. Include the name at the top, ensuring it is easy to see and in large font, not too large though. You'll notice in this example that the address is not included. Addresses are optional, especially if you're applying for a job that is out of the area, but you are willing to relocate. This might be great to discuss during the interview, but may want to leave off of the resume when initially applying. So, include 2 methods of contact, email and phone number. This example also shows the degree, how the degree should be written. Highlight the concentration so it stands out to the reader. Then, as we mentioned previously, on the right-hand side, include the expected or anticipated month and year of graduation. You'll see in this example, Jane Doe is expected to graduate June 2015. Associations, clubs, and other certifications can be placed. Then note in the third section, skills and relevant coursework. Students that do not have work experience are certainly welcome to use classes or classroom projects on their resume. Under experience, note how the position is bold. Ensure the position rather than the company is highlighted, as this resume is about you and should highlight your positions and education versus the company or the university. Month and year for each position should be included on the right side. This shows a wonderful timeline of employment history for the reader. This week's assignment is to complete a resume. Ensure to update the education to include CSUSB, anticipated grad term, and identify work and volunteer experiences as needed. Sample resumes have been included in this module. Use them to begin constructing your resume or refine an existing one. Resumes are a work in progress, and this is a great time to get started. Good luck and have fun.